We're going to call our meeting to order because we have guests here that we have been waiting. Yeah. Do you have a form for them, the guests, to sign?
I only brought one.
Well, they can sign on the back.
Well, I've got 2 signs, maybe they can sign on
yes,
this one.
That would be great. That'd be great. Okay, and we have a roll call. Roger doesn't even have that, do you?
I don't have the roll call here.
Okay. How about if I just call it?
Okay.
Joyce Dalton, present. Connie Anderson.
Here.
Gigi McKay. Deb Parcell.
Here.
Billy Green. Kathy Dennis.
Here.
Roger Protras.
Here.
Dwayne Hurt.
Here.
Brandon Gallus. And Liliana Roseanne.
Here.
Okay.
So 2 absent, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Are you taking notes, Roger? How wonderful.
You can do it if you like.
Did everyone have a chance to look over their minutes? May I have a motion to approve? Or if you've got some corrections?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Any correspondence that came into the office or? No? Okay. Then we'll move right into the COA. The first one being 518 Franklin Street. Is there anyone here for that property? Okay. Is there anything you'd like to address to us before we?
He and I are the owners.
Okay.
I'm Allison, this is Chuck. We're
Okay.
married, and we are opening up Fluid Coffee Bar there, and we're going to be roasting coffee. We have a small cafe in Valpo, and now we're opening up our second location here in Michigan City, and we're happy to be here. This is our sign maker extraordinaire from Semco Signs that we brought with us with the plans.
Okay, so you're going to be on the first floor according to the.
Yeah. We are excited.
Very much so. Okay, has everyone had a chance to look over? Any questions? Okay. We need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And when are you going to be opening?
December 6th.
Oh, that's next week.
Nobody expects that this week, but we're trying. That's what we're gonna have because we're in the Uptown Arts District, so we wanna be there for First Friday for December, so that's what we're gonna do. Make it a regular. We've been there nonstop trying to get it done, so that we're gonna have our open mic night, which we have in Valpo too, and bring everybody out and just try to do our best to.
And you're going to do that on the first Friday too?
Yep.
Oh, that'll be exciting. Oh, good, good. Well, good luck and
Good luck.
congratulations.
Thank you very
It's
much.
exciting.
Thank you.
Welcome to Michigan City.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Yes. If you want to stay, you're welcome, but you don't have to.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, moving along to 904 Franklin. Are you representing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, my name is Desiree Squeezer. I am the owner. It will be a beauty bar, full service salon pretty much. Trying to bring something new, young, innovative, and still be able to keep the historical part. Like, I love everything with the history, so I knew that's an area I kind of wanted to be in. I wanted to bring something more upscale for a multi-diverse clientele, you know. I want somewhere that everyone is kind of welcome and it's nice, upscale, and classy. It's actually really girly, so I'm sure the women will love it. Yeah, and it's just pretty much the signage. I have a window decal, and it's just saying the name, Hills. Hills is an acronym for Hair is Life, so it says Hills Bar. I'm not sure if you have the paper.
Yes, well, I have a
Okay.
copy of it.
Yeah, it's colored as far as like a gray and maybe a lighter pink. Just something new, upbeat, and
Tell me again what it stands for.
hair is life.
Oh,
Hair has been my life, my whole life.
that's
So,
cool.
jumping off the edge to try and get this started. It's been a long road, but you know, I think that's kind of what comes with small businesses.
Yes, lots of hard work.
Yeah, it's rewarding when I go in there, but it's like, ugh, when I leave, you know, what's next to do? So yeah, just been trying to.
It's Hill's Beauty Bar?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And see down at the, I don't know if everyone got this copy, it's kind of faded out, but down here where it says, hair is life. And that's
On
kind
the
of,
bottom. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute, yeah.
yeah, we just need to see.
Oh, that's cute.
Because when I saw that, I thought, I wonder
What
my
is
name's
that?
not. Well, I thought it was your last name, and then I
Yeah,
thought,
no.
no, it's not. So, good, did everyone,
come up with it?
anyone have any questions? Do I hear a motion?
I so move.
Second?
One of you moving and the other one second?
Oh, second, yeah. There you go. Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same? All right. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
And like I say, if you want to stay, you can, and you're welcome to, or you can leave and
Home to
go.
the kiddos.
Okay, all right.
You
Thank
guys
you.
have a great day though.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Going to the maintenance reviews.
Kathy Dennis.
Don't have my cheat sheet.
That's okay.
The first one is for 417 East 8th Street. Did somebody go out on this one, do you know?
I don't think anybody went out on this one. We just reviewed what they submitted for the changes for the window. It's the same exact thing, except instead of silver aluminum, it's white aluminum. They didn't have anything that was the silver aluminum. So we didn't kind of change, same window size, same design, just different color aluminum.
So, a storm window's not ready.
No. It's on the porch. I don't know if everyone got,
Is that the picture of that house?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. This one.
If you remember this one, the people who owned it previously had come to us for painting the door red. I remember that. And the lady that bought the house, now the storm windows are really in bad shape. They're quite drafty, and they tried putting plastic up last winter, and it just didn't help. So, are there any questions?
Nope.
Now, how do we address that? I mean, because that, this obviously wasn't historical as far as storm windows.
No, so it's, I mean, it's a fine thing, the staff approved, it's on the list of things
Yeah.
that's given,
Okay, but that's,
yeah,
okay, all right, that's, I was
fine.
just wondering, yeah.
Nothing historic about that, so.
No.
Aluminum storms for aluminum storms, and I don't think changing the color
No.
makes it look different.
Well,
So,
if you can't get it, you can't get it.
Yeah, right.
so, I don't see a problem with that.
Do we need a motion?
No, it's already been approved.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, then we will go to 823 Franklin. This was replacing a section of the roofing and also the kneeler. That was damaged. Does anyone have any questions on that? This is the building that's on the, if you come down Franklin and you turn in that space that goes to Presbyterian Church, it's the building that Lebesnick's owned. Any,
as an aside, they redid the front again. That's the second time since I've moved here that they've had to replace that building front because of termites.
Oh,
They're literally eating the wood away on the front of the building.
well, when did they replace it? It sure looks the same.
Well, they replaced it here this last week.
You're kidding. Well, shouldn't they have had
And it's exactly the same as it was,
Well,
only
that's
it's white now. It's painted white instead of the green color. If I'm thinking of the same building, it's just 2 doors down from me.
No, this is on the corner of, it's when you come up off past 9th,
Yeah,
and then you're gonna turn right beside it. No, it's green.
well then,
It's between, it's Lebesnik's and it used to be, what was the other one on the other side?
oh, then that's not the same
yours.
building.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Any questions? It was an emergency and had to be done, so, okay. Then we are going to go to 427 Washington Street. And this was a re-roof.
And that was staff approved, right?
Right, right.
Had this been started on the roof, you know, or?
I don't know if they've started this. They did come in now and pick up their permit, for the in-kind roof.
Yeah, well, yeah, because on the 17th of September, that they agreed to keep the roof in kind materials and asphalt.
I wouldn't know, but Sue would know because she's the one who oversees the roofing. So once I do the permitting process, I don't get to supervise that or anything.
I've never heard of more construction, but evidently they have a license or they wouldn't have got the okay by Sue, I'm assuming, so.
They could be out of town.
Any questions about that one? All right, now we're on 719 Cedar. This is a re-shingle of
Partially.
25% the roof. Anyone have any questions on that? Okay, so he must be doing it himself, correct? Because it says,
They're just minor improvements.
no contractor was listed. Okay,
Joyce, it is the place. My address is 813. This is 823. It's gotta be that place.
you're talking about
The second,
the Besnick?
yeah.
I sure thought Sunday it was still green.
Unless they've since painted it green over the white primer, that could be.
That could be it.
I do know that there was a building next meeting that got painted white. That will be discussed in December's meeting. That might be the one that you're thinking of. I'm not sure what the address is for it, but they are in the historical district. And they did paint their facade white, but they're not on this agenda.
But if it's the same one,
But the carpenters were there finishing it up last week, or 2 weeks ago now already.
okay. Well,
Have you had any termite problems?
Hmm?
You haven't had any termite?
I don't have any at all. Of course, I don't have any wood on my front facade,
Yeah.
other than the marquee up on top, but it just bothered me when I had that replaced. Now, was it okay what I did? I just had it refurbished, my signage at the top.
well, we had another refurbished, so it was okay.
Yeah. Same colors, same everything.
No, I think this is the same.
You think it is?
No,
Oh,
the woman who painted her house, her facade white. Her name is, it starts with an L, it's Leah, something along those lines, and this person's name is Katie.
Well, yeah,
Now, I'm also considering replacing the cracked glass in the show front windows.
that you probably have to let them know what you're doing.
But in quid pro quo, it's got exactly the same. It's a popular term, but
Yeah, it is.
it'd be glass for glass, probably insulating glass instead of
What things.
single pane glass, you know.
I would think that he needs to let you know he's doing that. Yeah. All right. Are there any committee reports?
Just an ongoing question, are we doing anything more with this TV signal thing?
The dishes.
Not one person will respond from the city council. And, you know, we do have a representative that's supposed to come to our meetings, and he does not come.
Who's
So,
supposed to be our representative?
Brian?
Right.
Brian
Yeah,
Dabney.
yeah, Brian, I was
And he
thinking of
was-
Dwayne,
And he was gonna check on that, and, we never heard, so I will try calling him again.
Well, they've had a lot going on with the city council and stuff.
Oh,
Probably,
you think?
yeah, it could be, we
And
could,
the
we could
election.
be farther down on the,
Oh, I'm
on
sure.
the list than,
Well, what I've noticed, and I don't know if any of you have noticed, how many trucks there are at places on Saturday and Sunday, unmarked, doing work. And I don't know, and there's nothing the city can do about it because the city doesn't work on the weekends. And the other thing that aggravates me as a business owner is all the vans I see out every day that are not marked, when, if you're a business owner, you have to have your vans marked. And nothing's done about that either, so, I mean, that's not our problem, but I just don't understand. If that's the rule, that should be the rule and it should be enforced, but it's not.
Joyce, do you know what's going on all through town at the tall power towers, electrical power towers, all the work that NIPSCO's doing underneath them?
They're, because over on Garfield, they've put an area where they've got all the new telephone poles and all the cement area they're doing, and on Tilden, right after you cross the tracks, they did that whole area
Right.
where they dump cement now and they wash their trucks, but they're reinforcing bases of the towers, is what I was told by two NIPSCO.
Because they got matting laid out for a
Right.
considerable distance.
Well, they're doing the matting so that they don't get roots in when the winter comes, so the trucks don't sink in too far and cause roots and get stuck. So that's why the matting's down, but that's what I was told, they're reinforcing all the bases of all the electrical towers. So,
That's a job.
well, have you seen some, the cement trucks in town that just, one after another? Well, I live in that area, but you can
Oh,
see it.
okay.
They come and they go in there, they've got a whole production, how they rinse off their trucks and then they go to another station. They drive in one way and come out. They've got signs up all over now, semis entering and leaving the area. So it's,
Yeah,
it'll be all winter, I was told.
really.
So,
It's tricky pouring concrete in winter.
I know.
Is that right across from the storage units?
Yes,
I was wondering what that was.
yeah. Well, I did too, so I stopped one day. Because they're also up, they're by the storage unit and then they're across Tilden.
Yes.
And that's where they clean, but up at the storage unit there, that's where they park and they decide where they're going and line everybody up, but yeah, it's quite a,
Also, did you notice that they put some traffic markers on the bridge to the casino?
Oh, they did?
I think they're getting ready because in spring that whole bridge is going to be redone.
right.
That's what I heard, but
So-
I didn't know when.
Yeah, it was supposed to be done this year and now it's been put off to 2020.
Yeah, for a couple of years it's going to be done.
We're talking about ain't got any word on when they might be doing the new sanitary sewer system for Long Beach?
No, that's quite an issue, and I only know what I know because my neighbor works for the sanitary, so I have to be careful what I say. But Long Beach doesn't want them to be on their property at all, but they want the sewer system put in. So the sanitary department is trying to negotiate
Okay.
that if there's an emergency, they have to get into property areas because there will be pumps put in.
Oh, sure.
And if a pump goes down, they have to be able to access. So they're meeting pretty much weekly. And I think a lot of it's kind of on hold now because of the election and the
Oh,
change. So, and that's a shame because it should have been done already.
Yes.
And with everything that's happened, everybody's kind of in limbo, so.
I know some people are for holding off on doing work on their house until they find out.
Yeah.
And I also heard tonight that there's a chance of losing 2 houses at stop 22 and 23.
Yeah, it's, when we had that big, what was it, a month ago, where the water it came in the basement of the Coast Guard station. That's how bad it was. That whole parking lot was flooded with probably 2 inches or more. But out there in Long Beach, like if this is the house, it's like right there. And it'll erode if any wind, and which we're supposed to get this next week, could happen. For sure the one house, and I don't know about the other one, which is kind of sad, which happened, I don't remember how many years ago, if y'all remember that, when
Buffalo lost. Remember they lost that one? Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, I know there's one in New Buffalo that was
right,
right next to a prior client of mine, yeah.
Yeah,
right,
tumbled
right.
right in, yeah.
It's pretty bad. Yeah, so there's a lot going on that's kind of like waiting because of the election.
Well, Portage, their whole park frontage over there, they're not even going to be able to use that. I mean, it's
Portage?
Yeah, they put a lot of money in that and built a shelter and all sorts of things, and that's only been completed for about 4 or 5 years, I think. And it's already,
Yeah, the doom.
Well, it was pointed out to me in my letter that I did put a wrong word in here, and I see that.
we were just wanting to make sure we knew what we were talking about.
It's supposed to be definitely. I don't know where I came up with that word.
It is a word.
It is,
I know, but
definitively,
it's-
it's a word, and we thought,
But it's not supposed to be there.
I've heard it, but I've never seen it spelled out. And
Well,
so
now
I'm
you've
looking
got-
at it.
now you've got it. But
Well, now, it makes a lot of sense, Joyce, now. This
My-
Also, I think in, let's see, the second paragraph, second sentence,
Yeah.
or third sentence, our concern is why we were not asked.
I were asked about the installation, but then never advised that they were removed.
Yeah. Well, see, when they put those in, the board was asked about it, what do we think, and, but.
Well,
then
we were
when-
consulted, basically, because we were in
Must have out the first part.
As you should
Oh,
be.
And we
Yeah.
should be, and
Yeah.
that
I've looked
was
at that
done
too.
correctly.
And I probably didn't, I was trying to do this afternoon. I was
It's fine.
trying to work other things. So, here's my thought.
I see, okay.
Because, to me, to send this to mayor is a waste of time. It was a waste of time when I sent the other one, because the letter I got back was like,
Yeah.
not very professional, and that he knew nothing, which I can't hardly believe that a mayor wouldn't know that something like that was going on. But if you could take it, look at it, if there's stuff that you think needs to be added, stuff that needs to be removed, then, and that's why I was hoping that Dwayne Perry would be here tonight to kind of see how we function, but then this would probably, to me, be going to Dwayne, who then would really kind of be at a loss because he doesn't have a clue. I did try to fill him in a little bit and why I asked him to come, so that he could see what we do and what comes before us. And so I will invite him to our next meeting, and hopefully then we will have something that we can present. And then our next meeting now is December the 16th. Remember, we voted that we would meet on the 3rd because the 4th one is right before Christmas. A lot of people will be gone or busy.
December
December 16th,
16th?
16 at 6 o'clock. And I guess maybe I'll need to call everybody all the time.
Might be a good idea this time especially.
Yeah, because it's going to be a different time.
Yeah, because I showed up late Monday night.
Oh, you did?
You did?
Well, we never meet on the 2nd.
I know.
You know what?
I've done that before.
I just look at my calendar goofy anymore. Like I look at it and it's like, oh, this window. Oh no, it's not that. I don't know. I'm too busy or something.
That's
I don't
okay,
know.
that's okay. Any other business that needs to come before us?
Got a couple things, if you've got a few minutes.
Oh,
yeah.
we do.
Good. One thing I wanted to bring you guys up to date on, way back in February, we had a meeting about updating our guidelines all across the state and specifically starting here in northern Indiana. And as usual in historic preservation, everything moves very slowly, and so we're just getting started on that. So we found a guy, he's an architect. In fact, he's got one more test to pass, and he will be a licensed architect in the state of Indiana. He works for Greg Keel, and he's young and he's got a lot of ambition. So we found a grant that we need some matching funds for, but we've hired him to get started on the process of updating our guidelines. So he just signed the contract last week. We just had our first meeting, but just wanted to let you know that is a work in progress. You guys here have one of the more updated set of guidelines of any commission we work with, but I think you'll be interested in these once we get them to that point. He's looking across the country at different historic preservation commissions and districts and what's working and what's not. So we're going to pick like the 6 best. And then we're incorporating things that we talked about in that meeting back in February. So we're looking at, possibly viewing things differently based on their rating. If it's the new non-contributing building, are we really going to waste lots of energy arguing about that? If it's the historic Queen Anne that still has every single bit of its original fabric, that's worth fighting for. So developing some different ways of looking at those standards and guidelines. We're going to do them for residential and commercial, so there'll be 2 sets. We're looking at some new topics, so like lead and hazardous materials and addressing those. Substitute materials, since our wood isn't lasting like it used to last. So what are some things we could use for that that'll still maintain the look without turning it into a plastic covered house? And also looking at alternative energy, solar, wind, stuff like that, and how we can incorporate that. So those are some things on the list. We're trying to make them very understandable, very user-friendly, trying to get as many things that we can put online as possible so it'll be easier for people in the historic districts to just go in there and do that. The guidelines we want to keep really streamlined and simple, and then we're hoping to have links to more information. Right now the guidelines have lots of illustrations, which are great and educational, but I think sometimes people get bogged down in all of that and they just stop reading. And perhaps if we could direct them, they could see, okay, if I want to do siding, first I'm going to try and save what's there, and if it's beyond repair, then I go to here, and then we could send them to a link that will give more details on how to do what needs to be done. So that's kind of a goal in just making it more user-friendly. It'll be set up by topics like this is now. And then we would hope also to create some one-page handouts from these sections that if they're not doing it online and they come in to see you, you could give them that to go along with the application and say, here's more information. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And then what we're hoping down the road, once we get these to that state, we're hoping that we can incorporate another $500 one time into the contract of every city that chooses to use these, just to help us meet our match on the grant that we got. So that's something we'll be looking for if that seems like something you want to do.
Deb, is there any of these organizations like us, are they not obligated to use the guidelines or not?
You don't have to use these new ones that we're coming out with. No, you can say we love what we have, so keep them. You know, you don't have to take them, but I think this is going to be something that is going to be really good for the people in the districts. I think it's going to make the process easier. Anything
Younger people, this will be great for. Old people like me, I have to see it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way of the future. And we're getting more younger people into these historic areas, so having this, that's how they do it. And I think it's great that you all are doing it, so.
Will there be anything in those guidelines about grants that might be available to people? I know we had one family woman, I think it was, who bought a house, remember, last year and put all the money inside, and then all of a sudden she's told, oh, it's in a historic district and you need to do this, this, and this. And I think there was a feeling that there is grant money out there, but it's difficult to write the grant. And my position was, that's not our decision to make, that's up to the person who needs the money to finish it. So if there was something that would...
Well, were you here when Yolanda came from Horizon Bank?
I don't know.
She had several grant areas.
Yeah. Yeah, Yolanda, through Horizon Bank, and that's the only bank in the area that does this. There are several programs, basically, that are grant-based through the bank, partially, and then, there's different programs. I think there's about 4 of them.
I thought there was 4.
And
I think the one we were talking about originally before she came was a state.
Yeah.
I think a state.
Well, I think it actually, the ones that Yolanda has through the bank probably would be easier for her to get than a state grant, because a state grant is
There's a lot
very difficult. We've got someone right now on our tree board that's trying to get a grant for us, and it's crazy.
Oh, I know.
Did we ever get any type of feedback as to if anybody applied for them, what happened with them?
She has not gotten back with me, but then she changed positions, and I know I'm not sure she's even on top of that right now, but as far as I know, no one has. But then I don't think, we did a big thing on it there for a while, and I think people were, aware of it. But then if it's not readily available to people, we talked about that, like when they come in for.
We asked, I think, the Planning Commission, and I don't think it ever happened to develop a brochure that would give information to people where they could go.
But we had all that.
I'm so sorry for this woman who had put all the money into that house.
Yeah,
right, I remember that.
But Yolanda she has brochures and all kind of information, and we had that at the presentation when she came, and I have it in our files for anyone who may come here to the board. But that was the issue, we're not going to go out and knock on doors and say, this program is here. So we have the information. If someone does contact you, could possibly, or through the offices or whatever. Yes, there are programs but it is through Horizon Bank. Through Yolanda.
If you can send it to me, that would be great.
Yeah, I can get that to you. Yeah.
Speaking of that type of thing, whatever happened to the storefront grants?
Oh, the facade?
Because I think they're still available.
They're still available through the redevelopment commission, as far as I know.
Yeah. But they just have to, and that's another thing that comes through the
Right.
office here.
Right.
They're informed of that when they come in.
On that same note, this might kind of help a little bit too. I actually distributed to Century 21 office, which is my office, basically, on Franklin Street, Century 21 Alliance, the handbook, and then I did give them some of the C of A
Oh, okay.
to have there in their office now, and then they did have, last week, I think it was last Wednesday, they did have an open discussion
Oh, good.
at their meeting, basically, because we have one agent there, Maria Wisnowski, that basically she's from Michigan City, she raised, went to school here. Anyway, she sells a lot of houses and lists a lot of houses, probably the majority that come out of that office in Elston Grove. So she had contacted me and we discussed it, and so I got all that information to her, and then they did an open discussion last Wednesday. Interesting how she said, I can't believe how many people did not realize that these guidelines applied to every house in Elston Grove. She said they thought, many of them thought it was just particular houses, you know. So we had that discussion, but I was glad that they did have that discussion, and she said it was really enlightening, because she said most of the newer agents especially, not if they're not from Michigan City, were not aware, you know, of those guidelines. So she went over it, and they've got that now in the office, and the C of A they kind of went over, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Is that what you were saying, that possibly the ones that are not contributing, that we would not bother them as much?
Right. You know, there isn't much there to fight for anymore, you know, so I think we need to really reevaluate how we administer some of these rules. So.
I had a potential client approach me about, owns a building on Franklin, about tuck pointing part of the building. Now, would they need to get a permit to do that?
Yes.
Retuck pointing?
Yeah, but I think it would be
I don't think that's on our staff approval list, because we want to be sure and talk to them about the type of mortar that they use and the mortar joint and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we
that's why it
talked
usually
about that.
has to go before the.
And I know the mason is going to do it, so.
Yeah. Good.
So that's.
Hello,
Hi.
can we help you?
Maybe. I was invited to the meeting, but I think I was already approved.
Okay.
I did a reshingle on the portion of the roof. My name's Mike Green. It's 427 Washington Street.
Yes. Yep, we already,
Already approved it. Okay.
yep.
I don't know why I got an email that said,
Oh, that said you had to come?
well,
You could.
actually, I think it was confused because it said to come last month, but then it said something about postponed to next month.
Yeah, we didn't
You
have a
didn't meet
meeting.
us.
We didn't, right, we didn't have anything on our.
So I can just leave?
Yeah, very good. Thank you for coming in.
All right. Thanks.
Now, there's a good question, how did he get in?
Well,
Is Charlie there?
Sue Downs unlocked the
Sue
doors.
didn't? Oh,
Sue's here.
She's working
okay,
there.
okay.
That same, where this building is gonna be tuck pointed, is that back wall of what used to be the hotel downtown.
The back wall, she wants to do the side wall.
Well, yeah, the side wall was I guess I called it the back wall of the old hotel.
It wasn't the back wall, it was a side, they were connected,
Yeah.
side by side.
Have we, what's that going?
She came 2 months ago and talked about that, yeah. And she was told to contact the First United Methodist Church, and she never has.
Well, I've heard otherwise, but that's...
Oh, well, that's where I go to church, and she has not.
Yeah, 'cause how did that ever get to be in that shape anyway, that was left that way when they demolished the hotel?
Because I don't know. Because that was way back before
That's
the.
such an eyesore.
Mhm. And now, if you would take that off her wall could collapse.
That's right, it's,
And she just, I don't know. But that's gonna be an issue.
yeah.
I don't know if any of you've gone down Washington Street. You remember the gentleman that came that was gonna get windows for the house in the 400 block? I wanna tell you, it looks so nice.
Good.
He came and the previous owner had put glass in the windows because he had telescopes so he could see the stars. And we know what stars he was looking at. But he's put regular double hung windows in there now, and it looks so nice. So
Good.
I'm so glad that he listened to
That's
our
the 400 block, you said?
Yes, right. Well, you know where it's right next to Haverstocks.
Okay.
Oh, on Washington?
Yeah, it looks nice, really
That's
nice.
good.
So that was nice that he came and followed through, and it looking nice. And then across the street from him is that couple that came to us
The porch. Yeah.
like a year ago, and they put the porch back on the front, tore off that storefront. It looks nice too.
Nice.
They're gotta do the rest. They're gonna evidently put brick or something up like it used to be way back. But it looks so
nice.
different too. So we've got two houses right there, almost right directly across that really.
You know, that's the fun part too, for me, is like, you know, when we're actually involved with that and then go by and see how nice it looks.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my goodness, you know.
Yes.
We did have some involvement in that. Also, the Nest, Esther, has decided not to do any type of
Mural.
Muriel. Yeah, I talked with her and she said that after coming before the board and our decision to only do half of it, that she just felt that that's not what she wanted to do, and it wouldn't give the same impact that she was looking for. And I said, well, I understand that, you know, I really do, but I still do feel that we made the right decision on it, because I went and looked at the building
Yes, I did too.
myself, and I just felt that we made the right decision on that. So anyhow, she's decided not to do anything with it as of now.
Okay.
Well, just to let you know that all things are not as we'd like to have them. In our block, both my wife's car, which is a brand new 2019 Buick Encore, and my car were vandalized.
Oh.
The back window of her car was scratched.
During the day?
It had to be because it's the only time she's there.
Oh my gosh.
It cost up to $1,000 to get that window fixed.
Oh my.
And what happened to you?
And same with mine, at the gang sites.
And nobody saw it. Wow.
Yeah, it just,
I haven't heard anything like that happening, especially in broad daylight.
well, and the other issue is how do you get squirrels out of your business? I have 2 squirrels in my business.
They like you.
You put a trap with peanuts in it.
Well, that doesn't work. We tried
No,
it.
you tried that?
They won't go in a trap?
If you bait it. Did you bait it
Yeah.
well?
Mhm.
Call the,
Now, if they say it takes a professional to do that, the local people won't do it.
Get a big cat.
do you want to borrow my cat?
Oh, not your cat, your cat.
My cat's too lovey. She'd probably lay down with the
She looks at
squirrel.
you. Yeah, she
Yeah, I think you'd have to contact, I can't think of the name of it, but there is one in town that does that.
I can't think of what they call it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you gotta be careful. They'll start
Yeah.
chewing away on stuff.
I ran across my office floor twice.
Oh my.
That'd scare you.
Yeah.
Well, better than mice, maybe. I don't know.
Does anybody know anything about the park, not the park, downtown?
Plaza?
Pardon?
The plaza?
Any more news on that?
No, nothing new. I think a lot I don't know, Lily, maybe you know more too. The last time the committee that was working on the plaza met, we talked about putting in electricity and some kind of special sink that if you had food vendors that they could use it to clean up a dump sink. Because there have been lots of requests of people who are interested in using the park. So
Well, the location itself is surely a good location for a lot of things.
Absolutely.
I mean, even if we don't, get 100% like we had anticipated. However, until we do, that is a nice location right there.
It's a beautiful location.
And
the city has already spent probably over $3 million in securing the buildings and tearing the buildings down and doing other things that need to be done. And I think we figured out that originally we were asking for an $8.8 million bond to do that. And when that didn't work, the annual payment on that bond was $975,000. So if we look at doing something in a more gradual way rather than this big bond issue, over the years, certainly they can do something with it if there's a will and people are interested. I think it's a shame because I was at the meeting the night and there were, a certain group of people who stood up and objected to doing it because they thought the money should be used for, and they had a list of, I think, 9 different things. There was only one thing on that list that Redevelopment Commission could have spent any of that money on, and that was for bus shelters. Otherwise, none of the things. It was free childcare. I don't remember what the other things were.
I remember reading that.
Yeah, I was there that.
So that committee had done its work and had talked with all the city councilmen, and we had enough votes to pass the bond. But then when there was some very vocal opposition to it, I think people were afraid to vote for it, which is a shame because it's kind of the same group of people that often, voice their opposition to a whole lot of things, and they don't always have their facts correct.
What were they? Was it a lack of getting information out about it?
I think it's for this group, it's more their belief that if we do things that are going to, what's a good word? Let's say spruce up Michigan City or, add amenities, it's going to cause gentrification. Gentrification is going to make people who have low incomes, move out of housing that the rents are going to go up that they can no longer afford. But I think what sometimes they forget is that we may get some gentrification, but those kinds of like the Civic Plaza had the ability to add a lot of money into the city budget. And certainly with some gentrification, that would allow the city to provide some of the services that they were asking for, do more affordable housing, because I think that is an issue, but I think sometimes you have to look at a little broader view of things than being such a tunnel vision.
And do you think maybe because of, number one, the double track issue that's going on, that's
so much going on right now.
And then the election.
Right.
And then what's happened, I think people are just afraid to.
Yeah, nobody wants to do anything. It's
and
like
they're afraid to voice their opinion. Right, right. Because
you got the announcement in the paper that they found a design build group to build now it's going to be 8 stories?
Yes.
What?
Over
8 or
on.
9.
What did you
The
say?
memorial.
Somebody said 9, yeah.
I think it's 9.
8 or 9.
9, yes, 9.
Memorial Hospital, the old Memorial.
That was my next question. That property,
Yes.
is there anything being done with that now?
That's what
They
we
found
just said.
someone.
Yes, someone is going to do
Good, and
that.
what's going to be going in there?
That's what we just said. We don't know. 8 or 9 stories.
They've got, on the ground level was the retail, and then they have so many apartments, 1 and 2 bedroom.
And then there will be parking garage.
Yeah.
And somebody said a restaurant up on the roof.
Oh,
No, that's the 9th floor.
Pardon?
The ninth floor.
The
Oh,
ninth
okay.
floor will be a
I
restaurant.
mean, for the parking.
No, for the restaurant.
Restaurant, yeah.
You know, and that's wonderful. I mean,
Yeah.
if you stop and think what
Absolutely.
that's going to do for that area right there. Is it high-end apartments? I mean, what?
I don't think they
It's all rental.
said what it was.
It's all rental, isn't it?
No, but she said high-end.
Oh.
Yeah, I
We
don't,
don't know, they didn't say that.
Somebody, I
think so.
didn't see the article. Did somebody know the name of the group?
all the new mayor was concerned about is that they didn't have any affiliations with the ice cream place that I guess bombed out on Franklin Street on,
Well, he wants such high rent.
is that what? Yeah, I wasn't even familiar with that one.
That's that, he came,
He came in here. Yeah.
O'Connor,
Yeah, there you go.
and he fixed it up, and he had an open house, and I went, and it's very nice, but holy cow, what he wants for rent is way.
Wasn't that supposed to be the office space for
So I
you?
thought
For
the
Bugler.
project.
Bugler was the name of the group that was, they initially put in a proposal when we were going, where the You Are Beautiful space is.
Right.
Right.
And we were going to do some
Michigan City.
residential.
We might want to close this out. We can discuss
She
it
can
and let her get
Go
away.
home. I was well, we're home in you. It's probably been
Yeah.
okay.
Are you
We
sure?
live pretty close, so we can chit chat. We didn't want to hold you up and you got to go a long ways to get home.
It's a half hour. I live in Portage.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it was a hotel, residential, there were 6 proposals, I think. And then the city decided not to follow through at this time anyway with that project. So one of the groups, and I believe their name is Bugler, they were going to put and I think they're still looking at doing that, put up some type of residential housing. We were interested in buying the building that the Lebesnick Center is currently in, and they were going to use the ice cream parlor as their management sales office.
Yeah, that's what
And I don't know where that,
And
There was a
Michael
big rendering of that at the fair, the art fair.
O'Connor bought the ice cream thing, so that's done, but they still want to put something in where Swing Bellies was in that restaurant. And then right along that same spot.
Are they gonna move Swing Bellies?
That's what if somebody wants it, they can move it, because it's an historic building.
That's what I thought. It's the train.
and now they're doing pop-up restaurant there.
Well, yeah, because they weren't making it. Arcadia wasn't making it, so now Mo's gonna be in there for 4 months.
Yeah.
But not every day, I can't remember.
I
Is
know.
Mo doing the park? Is he doing?
He's just renting the building and he's gonna have a restaurant in there for 4 months.
But he also doing the restaurant in
I
the
don't think
building.
he is, I haven't heard.
He was.
No, no, he hasn't been doing that.
No, he
Last
lost
year
that.
it was the one that's down on South
Oh,
Franklin Street,
you're right.
Patrick's.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Patrick's was running
Yes.
the restaurant up in
Yeah.
Washington Park.
Oh, the one that has a rooftop.
Yes.
Right. And people seem to like it better because it was normal food you get
Well,
for
Mo's it was. He didn't keep it open half the time.
Right.
I worked right there in the
Well,
office.
but it was food that you don't eat at the beach.
Well, and the thing of it was, people would come over asking us, when is the restaurant open? When is it open? When is it? Well, we didn't have anything to do with the restaurant, other than the fact that we knew we were getting a lot of people coming there because it was never open.
I have a question. Should we adjourn the meeting and we can still talk? But
That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Yes, do I have a motion?
so
Now that
I
we,
make a motion. Second.
Dwayne
whatever.
already did, okay. But now, the meeting will be adjourned, now that everyone in Michigan City knows.
yeah.